Do you agree or disagree that Nancy Pelosi is responsible for the absence of security on January 6th?
Yes, I am going to agree that she was maybe not the one person, but it could be if we had to point out one person, but she would definitely be in that top group. And she has admitted it herself. And now we have this damning new footage that just came out the other day. They're desperately trying to do damage control on that. We got J6 footage. This is out of the Federalist showing Pelosi expressing regret over National Guard failure. And she claims in herself, I take responsibility, which I do respect. But she didn't intend this for this to come out. If we really wanted to respect it, would have been out a long time ago. In fact, they were running that sham investigation, and I don't remember seeing that, Brian.
No, I don't remember seeing it either. Is this footage from her own daughter's documentary? Is that what this is?
What's interesting about her daughter's documentary is that they didn't believe it was an insurrection. They were just laughing about it. So this was all big stage, and they had a big film crew. They wanted this all to happen. So if they would have had the National Guard like they requested, then J6 would have just been a giant protest, and that's it. There might have been a few minor skirmishes around, but people would not have gone inside the Capitol. Who cares what Ray Epps says? Trying to, coerce people.
There was a plan to make things chaotic that day so that they would stop talking about the 6 states that just magically decided we're going to stop counting votes, with President Trump up hundreds of thousands on his way to easily blowing through in an overwhelming landslide victory. Instead, they were more concerned about the one person that was shot that day, and that was when they killed an unarmed veteran mother by shooting her in the throat. This was always a setup. This was always a frame job. And President Trump Blake has been out there repeatedly saying, I authorized the National Guard on multiple occasions. Kash Patel has been out there saying on multiple occasions, we authorized to have the National Guard there. But then it's now coming out that General Milley was involved with changing the plans the day before. There's a lot to unpack here.
Also, Mayor Bowser as well. Yeah, there were several people that could have made this happen, and they didn't because it was optics, but we'll get into that. So new footage released by the House Republicans investigating the Select Committee on Jan 6th from last Congress exposed then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who acknowledged her own culpability in the Capitol turmoil. The House Administration Subcommittee on Oversight released a tape obtained from HBO and filmed, yes, you're right, Brian, by Pelosi's daughter, Alexandra, who published the documentary on the former speaker with the network. Pelosi is captured on camera in an SUV speaking to her chief of staff as the speaker and her team were taken to Fort McNair, and she asks, why weren't the National Guard there to begin with? She asks incredulously, adding that the lack of preparation for mass demonstrations in the Capitol was her responsibility. They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more. But don't take my word for it. Listen to Nancy herself.
We have responsibility, Terry. We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have.
You should have.
This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've
like they didn't know how many freaking hundreds of thousands of people were going to be there, and they were like, "Oh, it's like they're blindsided." Like they could not have predicted this.
Pelosi gets really rattled and confused, like she's having a hard time putting her thoughts together. So as I watch this, and she clearly knows that her daughter is filming her, I'm trying to understand: is she going on the record to pretend that she's astonished at what's going on? Or is she legitimately surprised and disheveled and maybe even pissed off at what's occurring?
Yeah, it's like they knew the production was happening, but they couldn't quite get their story straight, and they're like panicking in the moment.
It's just what's more likely. Is it likely she's surprised by all this? Because they definitely used it. You started hearing that insurrection word, and they just lockstep went forward with that theory moving forward. But
we have responsibility, Terry.
Yeah, Terry.
We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have. This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff that should we call the Capitol Police? I mean, the National Guard? Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with?
Good question, Nancy. Why weren't the National Guard there?
But you know what? Maybe,
not a question.
Maybe, Blake, maybe she is acting because she obviously knows she's being recorded, and this is her trying to frame Trump. Like, I can't believe Trump didn't have the National Guard there. I can't believe that the Capitol Police didn't have this under control under Trump's watch. So the jury's out for me. I'm trying to understand if I believe
we could go for that angle, right? Make it look like it was Trump. Everything's Trump's fault, but he was the one requesting National Guard, and they were the ones declining it.
They don't know. They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more.
Yep, they should have absolutely prepared for more.
I take responsibility. That doesn't seem like she's acting. That seems like she's I don't know. That seemed like a rare moment of honesty if I were just to glance at it.
They found that Pelosi's office coordinated closely with senior security officials in the run-up. But according to former Capitol Police Chief Stephen Sund, who resigned after the riot, Pelosi's deputies turned down requests for preemptive deployment of the National Guard 6 times. House leadership rejected the precautionary deployment because the speaker's staff was somehow concerned about the optics. Yeah, so they messed up, and now it's coming out. The truth is eventually it's starting to leak. It's sad that it's 2024 already, and we're just getting wind of this. But at least something is happening, and we can finally get this story straight after all the years, and after they framed it as this violent insurrection, overthrowing democracy, the worst thing since the Civil War.
I feel like Pelosi and her team of lackeys would have been really tight on top of that, but they say the cover-up gets you most of the time. So if the Republicans are finally starting to release this information, I think this could be a very good thing, Blake. At least I hope so.
Yeah, it's a positive development because this story has been, framed badly since the beginning. And there was a lot of information that wasn't being told, that was being deliberately withheld from the public so that they could keep their preferred narrative.
Right. All right. So what's this one? This is Pelosi trying to walk back what this video is now?
Oh, yeah.
Provide some lame explanation. This one, yeah.
Right. Yeah. She's had to respond and try to do something, spin somehow, some way. So, of course, you're going to go on Nicole Wallace's show. She's awful.
The fact is that the president of the United States, the former president, and his toadies do not want to face the facts. They're trying to do revisionist history on January 6th.
Revisionist history.
But we cannot let us be dragged into their, again, false impression of what happened that day. They know what happened that day.
We are still gathering information, but we do know that Nancy Pelosi could have had National Guard there, but they didn't want to. It's almost as if, we've been saying this for a long time, they wanted something to happen. They wanted things to get really bad. That way they could absolutely destroy Trump and demonize his supporters. And they've thrown a lot of good people into jail just for walking into a building that they didn't know that they weren't supposed to be in.
100%. Yeah. It's astonishing that we've reached this point. But here we are.